Hi, and welcome to Aussie Scale Modeller. Jace here, glad to have your company once again. Hey guys, huge shout out and thanks to everybody that watched last week's episode. Thanks to the new subscribers that jumped on board. And yes folks, beware, as you would have seen in that little teaser, beware, they are coming. Great new thing coming up, and watch out during this week, and there'll be other little teasers, bits and bobs about what's about to hit your YouTube screens. So again, thanks for hitting the subscribe button, the like button, and the bell notification to let you know when this is all, you know, all these episodes go up. What else has been happening? Well, I've got some more stuff coming from Monique from Iggy Sticky. Can't wait for that. Had a great chat to Braden. Man's under the pump and pumping out some great new colours. We are actually heading up, myself, Braden from Outlaw Paints, Andrew from Full Bore Models. We are going to the Mackay show. Have a look up there, folks. I'll put that up so you can, if you want to, in the area and you want to send in an entry, or if you're in the state, you can come and visit. Come up and say hello. We'll be there with Monique from Iggy Sticky. She actually won't be there, but all her product range will be there. So if you're at the Mackay show, make sure you pop in and say hello. I'll be doing a bit of a live stream there, so looking forward to that as well. That's at the start of May, so can't wait to share that with you guys. So that's just a further on down the road. Righto guys, in this episode we have Matty, or Matthew, or Matty as he likes, you know, doesn't mind being called. Great interview. Now he's all the way over in Dubai, that's right. An Aussie modeler in Dubai. His skill level is off the charts. Very much a scratch builder. Well, he's sort of like kit versus scratch versus 3D, but he's just up there. And he's come up with some other great ideas, and we're working together on this. But anyway, guys, I'll stop yapping, and yeah, let's roll the video. Let's go. Well, hi, it's Matty from well, Kustom Scale. What else we got? What else you got there, mate? What other names are we going by?
All right, so Mattys Kustom Scale on Instagram.
Yep.
And MCS Design on Cults and CGTrader. That's for all my 3D files.
That's two.
And then a Kustom Scale Australia Facebook page and the Instagram account. And then I'm part of the Styrene Addicts MCC Model Car Club.
Right, and the 3D printing one there too. I think I've seen you on there.
Yeah, the
Australian
MCS
3D
design,
printers.
That's the yeah, that's what I design my stuff under.
Right. Well, what I'll do, I'll ensure that we'll put all those links in the description below, so I can go and see
All the logo.
all around the screen, mate. But wherever we do it, people can get hold of you because, well, after this chat, though, I want to know you a lot more, mate. Hey, mate, thanks for taking the time to spend, well, this time with us. And tell the people where you are actually in the world right now.
Right now. Okay, so I'm actually in Dubai. So an Australian modeler, I've been in Dubai for like 15 years. But when I'm at the bench, it kind of feels like I'm back in Oz. So keep in touch with the builders every day from back home, and, you know, obviously running the Kustom Scale Oz page, you know, you're seeing what the Aussie builders are doing. And so, yeah, kind of disconnected by distance, but connected by hobby.
Cool. I mean, I just felt like putting a Qantas ad up there, you know, I still call Australia home, and have this little plastic plane just fly past. You know?
Yeah.
Mate, again, mate, thanks for your time. Hey, mate, what's your first recollection of modelling?
Oh, it's an easy one. Easy one and a terrible one.
Okay.
So I think from 10th birthday, 11th birthday, my auntie gave me the Days of Thunder kit, and that was that half. It was the mellow yellow one.
I was going to say mellow yellow, yeah.
Yellow, yeah. And the little Rebel kind of tins of paint, and mate, that looked like a mess. It was an abomination. That silver was like everywhere, right? Knee, floor, everywhere. So that's my first recollection of building a model, and kind of I was told, yeah, you go pick something else, go play with rocks for a while. And then a few years later, I think I was about 14, my old man said, oh, look, let's give this thing another try. So he got me one of those 1/16 scale Stingrays.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yeah, 1/16 or 1/12, the bigger one. So I started building that, spray cans, and it was drying on the garage floor. He comes home from work and runs over it. So modelling didn't
it's
get off
not a good start so far.
No. And then I forget what happened after that. I gave it a rest for about 5 years, dabbled a bit more, and then left it again and came back when I was an adult.
Oh, well, mate, I'm actually going to go, I think, with all the great work you do, I think you actually regressed back to the garage and said, that's custom.
Yeah.
I can do something with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, mate, tell us, so you're in Dubai, and, well, mate, what's the hobby scene like over there?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I've tried to kind of get into it a little bit, and I think there's one guy called Case, who's a local Emirati guy, and he's pretty big on Gundam and Gunpla.
Yep.
And he's actually set up a store here, and it's a very, very nice hobby store, probably better than I've seen even in the US, right? But it is mostly centered around Gunpla and a few other things. But the store's got scale model kits, etc. They were running a show before COVID once a year.
Yep.
They did have all classes. I did manage to take out best of show on one of them.
Yep.
So it's kind of closed. The Middle East is it's a close knit sort of community. Everyone knows each other.
Yep.
But when it comes to cars, car builds, like I think they focus more on box builds, but executed like very, very nicely. And I'm kind of more like, scratch build.
You're a bit more up. Yeah, you're scratch, but you're out of the box, but you just take it to that next level. Yeah,
it's I have a lot of trouble doing like a straight instructions box build. I don't know. Again, I don't like following instructions, maybe.
Mate, regression. Back to the garage, 14 years of age. What can I do?
There you go.
Oh, mate, that's awesome. Hey, what do you got? What are you currently working on? And, mate, we'll see what you're currently working on if you've got it there, and show us a few of your magnificent builds.
All right. I've got a few out. So I'm actually one of those builders who doesn't start one and finish one. I've always got a few kind of around the bench, right? So one of the ones I'm trying to chip away at is is like a scratch build, full chassis car. Don't know how good that lighting is.
Yeah, mate, you can see that perfect. I'm just peeking over the monitor to have a real good look at it.
Yeah. So that's been on and off for about 2 years, and I'm getting there, but it's just a lot of scratch building. So that's a Camaro that's got a multi-piece body cut out.
Yep.
I'm doing a few lowriders and bombs for a build-off, and that's kind of a lot of the scene I'm getting into, even with the one-to-one cars. So I wanted to do some builds, nice kind of flaked and pattern roofed, and that sort of thing. And then the other kind of long-term build is this is probably about, I don't know, good couple of years of design work in 3D and 3D printing, and this is like started from a few ideas and some chassis, and there's stuff on my Instagram that kind of goes in a bit more detail, but this is like a fully 3D designed chassis, suspension, brakes, engine interior, etc. The back panels and the bodywork are all 3D printed, and
wow.
So that's like a labor of love that I'll finish it maybe this year, but getting to body at least is a big milestone. So that's going.
Looks awesome, mate.
So those are kind of the hot ones on the bench right now. Maybe I'll just show when I talk about patterns. Just a flaked roof, and I'm not the first one to do that sort of stuff, but this is currently wet sanded. But getting pearls and the flakes going and all blingy, and they're pretty cool when they're finished up.
What's that little diorama I see behind you, mate?
So this is this is like kind of a realistic rally scene I wanted to try and do.
Is that a Lancia?
It's a Lancia, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's in that Air Italia branding.
Yep.
And I tried to kind of make it as realistic as possible. And the flinging mud off the back tires took me like so many failed attempts, but that's that one. And that's like a kind of a street urban theme. See if I can bring it over.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we can only see half at the moment. Oh, wow, mate, even from this distance. Wow, that is just, yeah.
So it's a lot of scratch building. ANC hot rods. It's kind of the first initials of my two boys. And just like kind of a lot of scratch building to get that done, right? So cop radioing in about low riders misbehaving, blah, 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 right? So a little bit of a story behind that. And it's a pretty good backdrop when you want to take photos of your builds as well.
Mate, that's brilliantly done. And you seem to have a bit of stock there on the behind you. That's good. So how do you go getting stock over there?
It's tricky, hey. Obviously trying to get stuff in the post, paint's flammable, right? So I can sometimes get it through, but not all the time. So all the ammo mix stuff is what I use for my weathering. Yep. And I can get that from Otaku, that local shop, so that's good. SMS Paints, I've got a bunch of those. I order it in bulk, and I can usually get kind of snail mail sent over, and it comes through. And I use SMS for a lot of the base colors and things like that. So, and then the metallics, you know, it's always good to have lots of different types of pale burns and but even like the metallics for your motors. Yep. So one motor will have like 6, 7, 8 different tones, and that's what helps to make it realistic. So,
well, we'll get this over to you, mate, as we discussed the other day, which is great. So I can't wait to send some outlaw to you.
So stuff like this, you know, it really helps add some realism when you can put the little tones of metals in there.
And did you 3D print those yourself?
That's all 3D designed by me, 3D printed by me. Yeah.
So tell us, so you design all your 3D stuff and you print it all yourself. Do you sell it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so where can they actually purchase it from, mate?
Yeah, so there's 2 domains that a lot of designers use to get their stuff out there. So one is called Cults, so CULTS, and I can give you the link for the store specifically.
Yeah, please do, mate. Email that through to me.
And then CGTrader is the other one. And a lot of designers will go there and, you know, I was asked, you know, pretty frequently, you know, can I get this? Can I get that? And I thought, let me just organize myself a little bit and put them up there. And I've got to be honest, like it's, there's been massive support for the designs that I come up with. And that's kind of put a little bit of pressure on myself to kind of, if people are using them in their builds, all right, I've got to make sure they're good. They're worthy of someone paying dollars for it. There's people who are printing them in like 1/16 and 1/10 scale even. And so, you know, when it's really big, you really need that detail to come through. So, you know, nuts, bolts, washers, you know, holes for wires, that's all kind of part of my design. Is like, that's the standard that I design at. And kind of, I started designing because when I was looking to buy stuff, there was some really kind of dodgy stuff getting sold. And I thought, you know what, this could be a little bit better.
Yep. The Australian way, out of necessity, mate.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll find water in the middle of the desert. Yeah. So,
you have to.
Mate, talk just, and for folks that don't know, we've talked before, you and I, and it's mate, thanks again for coming up. But like, even though you're over there and I'm over here, we were actually talking the other night about the modelling in Australia and what you and I could do, and well, anybody else we can actually get on board to really bring it up to up to speed sort of thing, you know, a bit more recognition.
Yeah, big time. So So, you know, obviously, you know, with my building, I've been, you know, haven't been doing it for a long time, but early on I got into social media around it, and that exposed me to a lot of, you know, really good builders. So I was knowing builders who were doing stuff for magazines before I even realized that they were in those magazines, right? And then that helped me understand, you know, what does a good builder look like, scratch building, or, you know, executing a perfect stock build or whatever, right? And then you look at some of the Australian stuff coming through, and there's a lot of really good builders. They're right up there as well, and you know, they're unknown kind of out in the hobby. And so, one of the moves I made, you know, last year was taking over one of the Facebook accounts and creating that custom scale auto branding, and you know, the Instagram page is purely to showcase great builds from Australian builders, and to try and get that out there. I think it's probably one of the most exciting times for builders, right? So you and I talked about, you know, the grassroots, getting new builders in, junior builders in, you know, you're doing some great support to you know, help make that happen. I think as parents start to show their kids the stuff that they're building, you know, the kids will, you know, want to give it a try, and then it's like kind of parent kids time. I think all the 3D modeling and design, you know, there's so much awesome parts available now.
Yeah.
So for average builder, or even a great builder who doesn't have much time, he can get an awesome looking build just by shopping and making a great theme and putting it all together, right? So that's fantastic.
And then,
I think the third one is,
you
know, that segment is the awesome builders who have been doing it for years. They're class of their own, you know, and I can ring off, you know, a few names that come to mind. But let's say they're probably slowing down on the modelling at the moment, you know. So they'll go to one show if it's local a year. Probably don't crack out the building stuff as often as they'd like to, dabble a little bit, but might not finish stuff. And I think if we can get some of those builders motivated to start demonstrating how good, you know, Australian modelling can be, get them kind of public, create that awareness, it's going to motivate, you know, that middle segment to aim even higher on the next build, which is what we should all be doing. And then people who are new to the hobby or not in the hobby yet will see that and say, wow, that's like, if that's achievable, that's something I want to do.
They'd like to achieve, like they go, oh, I'd like to be able to build that. And then these people can say, well, you can build that. This is the steps it takes to get there, sort of thing. And when we were talking about before with the kids, you know, the old adage of, oh, rainy day, stay inside. And nowadays, most kids will just be sitting on their phones or an Xbox or whatever. Put them on the bench, give them a skill, like, you know, like that's, and you're spending time with them, not with the screen.
Absolutely, absolutely. So my eldest is 8. And he started building not on his own. It's stuff we do together, and he'll do a car, and then I don't build Gunpla, but he likes to do a car and then a robot, and then a car and then a robot. So find that whatever he builds, he could, you know, build a boat for all I care. But the process of him working through instructions, troubleshooting problems, cutting himself with a knife, you know, we've all been there, coming to dad for help. You know, it's great for them to learn motor skills with their hands. Get off those iPads, spend time with parents. It's fantastic, right?
And it's that creativity inside, like, and like, especially with a dad like yourself, who thinks outside the box, getting him to think, okay, well, this is your stock model. What can I don't have to make it this way. I have a dad who 3D print, or this is the ideas I can share with my dad, and we can work through the problem together.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that stuff's magic, right? So it only happens when you create those opportunities and those moments for it to happen. And I think modeling's great for that.
I've got a 6-year-old grandson, and even when he was 5, I'm in the booth here, brought him up here, put him on the stool, and he got to use an airbrush on just to do on a spoon. He thought it was the most amazing thing in the world, and he's always
It's
asking.
like magic.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, spoons." I'm like, "Well, yeah, okay, we have spoons." I don't think I could let him right near a glue pot or anything, but I'm looking at the snap tight kits because he's got those skills already. So yeah, but yeah, mate, I'm hoping you're going to email me a few of your completed beauties that you've got. So we'll add that to this episode, and the world can see how really talented you are.
Yeah,
mate.
I picked out some good ones. I'll send you some photos.
Right, I will bring a couple up to the screen, and then we'll get the HD photos, mate, when you send them through. Right. Come on.
All right. All right. The fear is always that you hold them up and then a wheel falls off, right?
Normally, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a Ford?
Yeah, it's a 49, like the 48 to 52 style Ford F1s.
Yep.
And I tried to make sure the light's hitting it.
Yeah.
I tried not to get too crazy with, it's got big wheels, obviously, but I tried to make some subtle mods. So I brought the front fenders all the way down so it's equal with the sides, shaved all the trim on the side, recessed the grills here. So just these subtle mods. Designed and printed a Coyote motor with individual throttle bodies.
Nice.
And, recessed the tail lights. But I just really wanted like a nice simple color, but just executed well. And this thing's always kind of, it's always shiny. Yeah,
and it's like a real Ford. It's just all glued together, and it's stationary.
Funny you should say that. I've got one of those outside a real one.
It's broke down too. You got RACQ over there?
They said they won't come out this far.
Yeah. Over time.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the Dodge 330, and this is the Color Me Gone kit. So you might recognise the body.
Yep.
But I opened up the boot as well, and I'll just remove the hood. Again, don't break on me. And I tried to go for a very extreme drag build.
Yep.
Let's see if it gets
yeah, I can see that, mate.
All within the stock body.
Yep.
Right, so that's a Hemi twin turbo. The exhaust kind of come out below the front fenders. The turbos peak a hole through where the fog lights were. Water to intercooler inside. The piping goes inside. And then the boot's all kind of fuel system and oil system and parachutes and blah, blah, blah. And then underneath is where I braced it, 9-inch, all the rest of it. So, yeah, I really tried to cram as much detail into this. This is like that one build where you go all in. Yeah. That's the one. So
that's lovely, mate.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
So, sorry?
Spectacular.
Thank you.
So if you could send us some of those HD photos, that'd be great, mate. I'll put it with this video, with this episode, and people will be able to get close up and personal with that stuff, mate.
Yeah, very good. No problems.
So what's the future holding, mate?
For me?
For you, for builds, besides finishing off that mega build of a truck?
Yeah.
Anything that tickles your fancy out there?
Yeah, look, there's a few things I've been trying to get myself to. So the problem is, as I start building, I think of two other things, and I start, full builds and blah, blah, blah. But if I can knock a few off, I really want to do a stock build, but 3D print and design, really, really high detail stuff, not use the kit engine, for example, in the interior, but design something that's, hyper realistic. That's something I definitely want to do.
Like this?
Yeah, those full bore kits.
Yep.
I haven't got one.
He'll send you one.
Shame on me, right? Hey?
Ed, mate, just get on his website. He'll send you one. There's a guy, the first guy that bought one was in Denmark.
Really?
The first kid was...
I've had a chat to him before because one of my designs is so I did some Holden motors. Yep. So a walking motor, an RB30. I'm currently doing a VN Group A motor. Yep. So actually we had a link and we talked about, linking my walking shore motor to a kit that he's coming up with as well. So great guy, great stuff, and you know, I really should get myself onto that. So there's a few Australian builds I want to do. I've got a couple of Monaro kits here as well. I want to get done.
Greatest car ever made.
Sorry?
Greatest car ever made.
Yeah, I'm biased, right? HK Monaro. But
HQ,
anyway,
but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, details. So for me, as far as building, you know, there's all the 3D stuff and, you know, the Instagram and Facebook, but end of the day, I'm still a builder, right?
Yep, that's what we are.
Yeah, I'm always going to kill my time with too many builds than I can handle, so whatever.
Don't say that out loud.
Yeah. It's a safe place. This is a safe place. We can talk openly.
I'm in my happy place.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sanctuary.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But look, I think as far as the hobby's concerned, we're on like we're kind of upwards, right? It's a very, very good time to be in the hobby. Like I said before, you've got parts and accessories that just weren't accessible. Your imagination is the limit when it comes to designing things, and that's absolutely fantastic. I think within Australia itself, probably what I'd like to see / do, you know, and we've talked about that a little bit, is build some structure around how do we recognize some really fantastic builders in Australia.
Yep.
And, you know, elevate that up to a national level, and kind of put it on show for the rest of the modeling world to see, because there are great models out there. I've seen phenomenal builders in like Italy. There's a amazing guy on, you know, scratch building realism. Obviously the US guys, there's plenty there. Germany, UK, right? There's plenty out there, but I really feel Australian builders have their home, you know, on that platform as well.
Yep.
And I really like to kind of, you know, we've talked about doing that together, is how do we get them out there and publicized?
Yeah.
Put Australian modelers on the map.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm working on. Well, we're working on it now. Thank you very much, because that's what the channel's about, as you knew, mate, from the start, and thanks for supporting it from the start. So
doing great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we've got the most amazing talent, all the shows I've ever seen. And there's a guy, like I just put his name, Peter Johnson, he's up in Townsville. Mate, he blows my mind. He's scratch built dioramas. You just go, wow, like, you know, how good are you? And then you got Casey from Slowly's Models, like his 3D rims and all the other stuff, like his rotaries. And then you got Kirk Hamilton. You've got all these like Les Eccleston. Did you see the HDT diorama?
Yes, I did.
Like,
yes, I did.
That's off the charts, but nobody overseas knows about it.
Yeah, correct. And I think that's for Australian modelling, that's got to be the next step.
Yeah, well, let's work on it, mate, and we'll get there. We definitely will. We're on a mission. And what's the rest of the day going to entitle for you, mate?
Well, it's the weekend here. What are we? We're about 6:30. I reckon it's a bit late to head out on the cars because it starts to get super humid here. It'll probably just be here with the kids, get them off to bed, and then dig into some bench time. Yeah. Yeah,
I think it's about 1 o'clock in the morning here. So
no, I appreciate you staying up, and I know it's not quite your bedtime, but I appreciate it anyway.
Yeah, mate. I mean, I would have waited up to 4 o'clock, mate. It wouldn't have mattered. People have to see your work; they really do. And I'll put all those links down below. And not only just support your work, but all those sites you're on, they hold some of the keys to some of the greatest Australian modelers we've got that people don't see.
Exactly. I think if there's only one, if anyone's going to follow only one of my accounts, only one, get onto Instagram, go to Kustom Scale AU. I'll send that link, and that is where I'm showcasing. It's not about Matthew or Matthew's builds. I'm showcasing Australian builders, the best builds I can find. Follow that and really start to see what's out there and what does good Australian modelling look like. That would be my request. Yeah,
mate. Well, they've got one to choose from, but mate, when I do the outro, I'll punch them that out as well, just to make sure they go to that as well. Hey, mate. one more thing I always ask. I've rocked up to your house in Dubai there, just knocked on the door, came in. You said, would I like a coffee? I said, naturally. Is there anything else that exists in the world? You're making coffee. I've ducked in your bench there. I picked up. I thought, well, I could use that. I walked out. You've come back in. What are you missing?
Oh.
I picked up your favourite item. I picked up your favourite item without knowing it. What is it?
My favourite item this week?
Nah, mate.
No,
if you hit your bench and you can't find it.
All right. Right now, God hand snippers.
Yep.
This brand, I mean, I was buying snippers from whatever, hardware store, right? Cheap, blah, blah, blah. Someone said, go get some proper ones. All right, what does proper mean? These are like $50 or something, God hand. What's that, icky sticky, yeah?
Yeah, mate. These are the ones. Same as those.
Yeah?
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I mean, it's like I was trying to cut stuff before with good intentions and hope. This actually cuts stuff consistently. This is unreal.
It's like trying to cut a sprue with a steak knife.
Yes.
It's like Pete from Aussie Scale Modelling.
Yep.
I just converted him from a Stanley, one of those plastic Stanley knives, to a hobby knife. I'm like,
success.
Yeah, great. He said it makes photo etch easier. I went, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, they always say don't blame, good workman doesn't blame his tools, but geez,
yeah, mate,
good tools sure make it.
In our game, mate, it definitely does. Like if you, but mate, yeah, those mate, they are awesome. Those things, God hands. One of club member, he bought it and I just used it. Went, well, it was just like butter, like just you didn't even know you'd cut it. You had to check you'd cut it. It was like, yeah,
absolutely.
Well, mate, again, thank you so much for staying up and hanging with me. And anything else you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
Mate, I appreciate the time. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much. I think if I'm only going to say one thing, it's, if you're watching this and you haven't been to the bench for a while, just get in there, open something up and just have a play. Get yourself motivated to do even a small job. It doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 build. A 5 out of 10 build to get you started again is good enough, right? So get in there, enjoy it. It is a hobby. It's to relax you and take the edge off life, because life is, obviously tough for everyone these days. Get in there and make it happen, and then share it. Show us what you've done, right? Be proud of what you've done. This is what the hobby's all about.
Absolutely, mate. And we learn from each other, and every single day.
Absolutely. Mate,
my brother,
thank you very much. Appreciate all your help.
Mate, thank you very much. And as I always say, mate, it's all good. Catch you later.
joyous, or shall I be damned?
Thanks, Jason. Good day, everyone. I'm still waiting on the return of that Victorian Railways T-Class. It's got to come back from cleaning. Not here yet, so I was hoping to be here last week, but not to be. So I thought this week I might share with you a personal project of mine that I've started late last year in modelling the White Pass Railroad out of Alaska. Just pictured in the corner here, this is the first stage of the project. This is the depot at Skagway, Alaska. Let me just adjust this camera. A bit hard showing white on white. So a scratch built depot in S scale. S scale is 1 to 64. Very important to me when starting this project was little or no compression on what I build. So all structures are 1 to 1, close enough to full size. When done, this structure will be about 600 to 700 millimeters square. There's actually two parts to the depot. What I'm showing you now, the frame of the actual depot, and next door the railroad offices. So if you're in Skagway, this is where the track sits, where the passengers get on and off, and next door across here are the railroad offices. Today though, this is not actually the depot. This is a tourist centre, information centre from the Klondike group. And the actual depot is usually down at the wharves where you get off your cruise ship. So the little railroad ran from Skagway all the way up to Whitehorse in Canada. Today it doesn't go that far. Whitehorse still hasn't had the rail reconnected when the railroad ceased operating in '82, but you can go most of the way today, or about halfway. So this is the depot for Skagway. This is what I call the frame or the skeleton. It's 1mm styrene. I'll just get the basic shape of the building. The final siding is all applied individually. You can see I've started just there. The first couple of strips are on. If I can show that. There it is there, you can see it there. So I apply an outside wall, and I apply an inside wall. Generally at that point I paint it. Then I apply the final trims and the windows and doors pre-painted onto the structure. That's quite a big one. So the railroad office go next door, that'll complete Skagway. Then there's a depot at Bennett to build, and finally the depot up at Whitehorse will also be built. Scratch building I find a lot of fun. For me it's the hunt, finding all the plans and the photos and the details, and emailing people and writing to people thousands of miles away to get little bits of info to put it all together. So I do want to go all out on the interior. I want to get the basic partitions in there, so I got most of it down. Most of the walls are roughly in the right spot, certainly close enough for me. Likewise I've got to put the partitions in the top yet, but I can see myself running out of enthusiasm on this one pretty quickly. So before I make a meal of it, I tend to put such projects to the side and start something else, whether it's a locomotive or do some bench work, start building a layout or whatever. If you're wondering what Sn3 locomotives look like, this is a typical loco that runs on the White Pass. They nicknamed them the shovel nose. I guess it's to do with how the front of the loco looks. You still see them running today. Most of them are now painted in the green and yellow paint scheme, but the White Pass went through a couple of paint schemes, blue and white and a blue and a few other bits and pieces, and now they're back to the green and yellow. This is a kit, a white metal kit, so it's quite heavy. I can't convey that in the photo, but this loco tips into about 700 grams, so there's no problem here with traction or electrical pickup. They run quite sweetly. As with all white metal kits, everything's soldered throughout. The White Pass had 10 of these locos. Most of them still run today. A few have been scrapped or retired, but a large number of them are still out there running, pulling tourist trains today. So it'll be quite a big project. Modelling the 3 depots, lots of locomotives and wagons to build. So it's my little personal project to keep me quiet for the next, I don't know how many years. I've allocated probably 10 to 15 years on this project, about a year for each structure, each depot, sorry. And the rest of the layout was built at a leisurely pace. So hopefully next week, guys, I'll have that Victorian Railways T-Class back, if not back, at least with some paint on it, and should be something interesting to show you then. Thanks for watching, guys. Have fun, keep building. I'll see you all next week. Bye bye. G'day everyone. Check this out. No expense spared here. That took me a couple of weeks to make that up, and the consultation fees for the new font was absolutely outrageous. But there you go. At the end of each show, I always yell out my name and that email and all that saying contact me, but I'll leave that up there now, so I don't have to do that. And if you've got a question, something catches your eye, that's how you contact me. Just after I finished last week's quick show, I got a phone call saying, Jurgen, come get your loco. Perfect. That T-Class diesel I've been rattling on about for the last couple of weeks. I couldn't wait to get back, paint it. I went against my own rules. Normally I wait several weeks between paint application, that sort of stuff, but this one is a little bit special. So, all painted, ready to rock and roll. What I find really interesting is, and I'm just holding this up to the camera now, I'm looking at it on my big monitor to my side here, the yellow as you see it is nothing like that in person. It's actually much redder, much more gold. It's quite interesting, isn't it? It's a good example of why you shouldn't use digital media, print media as references for colours. It's almost always off. So, but she's all painted. While we're on the subject of colour, I'm often asked over and over and over again, how do you paint your trains? It's such a big secret, and it's no secret. I have a lot of fun with colour, and it's great fun watching people lose their minds over a topic that's so highly perceptive. I've been sitting here trying to think, how do I describe, how do I paint? Look, all my colours are hand mixed. I'm trying to find words to describe how I do it. It's just everything's hand mixed. If I was to go into business of painting trains using little 10mm or 20mm or whatever 50mm pots of paint, you wouldn't make much money. So I go all out. I find out whatever I got lying around, tins usually. I bought a number of these many years ago, and a lot of them are on the end of their lifespan, but I mix up individual colours and keep them together for each scheme. So these 3 colours are for a particular scheme, another set of pots for another scheme. So yeah, that's all there is to it. I mix my own colours. There you go. Over the years I've collected and made up dozens and dozens and dozens of plates of colours of trains and schemes and all sorts of stuff. And so my colours are consistent. You'll see on this particular plate here, it's one blue, but there's 6 variants of the same blue. Different colours depending whether the model's going to be used, inside, outside, under LED lighting, under fluorescent lighting. So yeah, that's it. There you go. That's all there is to it. Just notice as well, holding this one under the camera, it's quite interesting, that yellow as you see it in real life, it's not even close to that. It's much more orange. And likewise this orange here looks brown on your monitor, but in real life it's quite a vivid orange, a lot of red in it. So there you go. It's quite interesting not to take too much note of colour through a computer screen. It's almost always going to be wrong. That diesel, almost on the home stretch now. A few little things that have got to be done to it, and I'll just run through what we're going to fit to it to finish it off. The loco needs a number, so these are included in the kit. Brass number board, you paint them yourself. I still like to paint my own number boards. Just force of habit, been doing it for so many years now, I can't see myself changing. And there's a bit of a write-up on how I do this on my Insta page as well as on my Facebook page. Very quickly, I like to spray a true lacquer, a 1K lacquer, that way I can bake it in the oven. So in this case, black lacquer into the oven for half an hour or so, and then the actual white's drawn on by hand. And what I've done over the years, I've modified some brushes. Hopefully you're going to see something here, maybe not, but the light blue handle is a modified brush where I've cut the bristles right down to the ferrule, maybe just a millimetre poking out. Load that up with water-based acrylic paint, and then I simply just draw the numbers on. The idea of using the water-based acrylic over that hard lacquer is if you make a mistake, it's very easy to wash the water-based acrylic off and start again. So again, once I've got the plate to a level I'm happy with, I clear coat it again with 1K lacquer, back in the oven a bit to cook it all up, and nice hard glossy plate for the side of the loco. So the engine's going to become 371. We're going to light him all up. It's going to look like a Christmas tree. And they're my LEDs that I use in all my assemblies. You can just see it against the black there. It's a 0402 package for those technically minded. I do have these fixed with red and black wire, so it makes it very easy when you're installing into a locomotive. You can keep maintaining the polarity of your LEDs quite easily at a glance. I do not use LEDs with a magnet wire. The solder pads and the way LED is designed, it's not designed to have the force of a magnet wire on it. So you'll only find my LEDs with stranded wire. So this particular loco, it'll get headlights, it'll get marker lights, it'll get a cab light, and depending on my mood it might even get lights above the front truck, little truck lights. So like I said, it's going to be like a big Christmas tree. So LEDs for it, and the last thing we need drivers. And I can't recommend highly enough Andian Models, ANDIAN Models.com. They do a range of 3D printed figures for model railways in different scales. They come as a black resin. They're scanned off real people, and the poses are designed to fit inside a particular loco, so they really do fit nicely. Hands rest on cab rests or on dials and gauges, that sort of stuff, so really nice. This guy here is half painted, is all shiny. He'll get an oil wash and a matte coat, and he'll go inside the loco. That's it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching along. Next week I will have a couple of new projects to start as that loco is finished off. So we'll have a little run through them. As I always say, now I don't have to say it. If anything you see takes an interest, give me a yell. Happy to have a chat or a quick zoom. And I'll see you guys all next week. Have fun. Happy model building. Bye bye.
Wow, guys. Mind blowing. How good is he? Matty, thank you so much, mate. Can't wait to get onto all those ideas that we've got to work towards, and by really promoting the Australian model, not only in our own country but overseas. Get some international recognition for the great skill and talent we have in this country. And mate, an absolute pleasure. I know I was up, well past 1 o'clock with the interview, but it didn't matter, mate. Just to spend great time with you, always a pleasure. Righto, guys, what have we got coming up next week? There'll be a surprise video coming up for next Sunday. I will be, hopefully, receiving a kit as part of a series. I'll do an unboxing on that. I love this aircraft. I'll give you a hint there. It's an aircraft. And don't forget, guys, go and see Braden at outlawpaints.com.au. That's the man there and up there and wherever he is in the screen. Andrew from fullballmodels.com.au. And, of course, the beautiful, wonderful Monique from ickysticky.com.au. And Wayne, he's part of the driving force, one of the many parts of the driving force behind the Mackay show. He's from BB's Hobbies. He's a great supporter, not only of his local community, but the modelling community in general. So get behind Wayne up there. Have a look at, that's his website there, bbshobbies.com.au. Check him out. There is finally another midweek episode going up. It's a bit of an unboxing from Icky Sticky, and it's also from Jurgen's station. Wait, you have a look at these guys, bloody brilliant. But I have been working on, and I just spoke to Hibbo from SCALEMODELLING and Pete from, Hibbo from Hibbo's modelling bench, and Pete from SCALEMODELLING, and we're having a chat on Zoom there, and I showed him this. As you can see, the HG's just sitting back there, and I went, you know what? Oh, what are you working on? I went, yeah, a HG door there, and there's the other HG door. Well, they said, oh, well, Queensland's alive and well, we see. Whew, what's on in Queensland? Well, HG doors. So I'll be chucking some paint on those, folks, and sharing them with you Wednesday night as well. But anyway, folks, please, all those, what do you call them? They're not sponsors, guys. I don't get a cent for the channel. So please hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification. Make sure you hit that like button. That'd be great. And yeah, these people, they give so much for all of us. Like, we can go to these people, and so I believe it's only the right thing to do to support them and keep those doors open. So thanks, guys. It's always magical talking to you. And as I say, it's all good. And catch you later.